Strategies for selecting target markets. Okay, so what is a target market? It's a group of people for whom the firm designs, implements, and maintains a marketing mix intended to meet the needs of that group, resulting in mutually satisfying exchanges. So once we've found a target, or once we've determined which segments we're going to target, we then actually begin to develop marketing mixes for them, product at a price that they're willing to pay, at a place that's convenient for them, and we communicate with them in ways that they can understand. We begin to target them, we go for them, and we develop marketing mixes that create mutually satisfying exchanges where they like what we're offering, they give us money, and when we develop a relationship with that segment. Okay, so the three general strategies include an undifferentiated strategy, a concentrated strategy, and a multi-segment strategy. Okay, undifferentiated targeting. It's a mass marketing philosophy. It views the entire market as one big segment. Well, basically there aren't any segments. It's just one big market. You use one marketing mix for the whole market, one product at one price in one place or in a specific place, and you communicate in a specific way with everyone in the same way. It assumes that all individual customers have the same needs that can be met with a single product. Okay? The first firm to enter an industry usually uses this strategy. When there's no competition, the firm does not need to offer other marketing mixes for the various segments. For example, the iPhone in the beginning was offered undifferentiated targeting. They only offered the one product to the whole market. Now they have different types. They have the iPhone, various types of iPhones. They have the S versions, they have the mini versions, they have all kinds of interesting versions to target different segments. But in the beginning they only had the one. So it was the case with Apple when they started. An advantage of using this targeting strategy is that it saves costs. For example, marketing costs are much lower when there's only one product to promote. When there's lots of different products, it means you have to have different advertising campaigns, and each advertising campaign costs a lot of money. So it costs you a lot more when you have lots of different products. Then we have the concentrated targeting strategy. This is where you only select one segment, a very small segment, a niche, we call it. Not niche. Firms can concentrate on understanding the needs and motives of only one segment. You can therefore develop a very specialized marketing mix. Some firms find the strategy to be more profitable than serving many segments. For example, Porsche. They offer a high-end car to the high-end income market. They don't offer low-income cars and middle-income cars. They just offer one type of car, very expensive, very fast, very stylish, very expensive. Okay, it's a niche market they focus on. Okay, so there are some risks with this strategy. You're more exposed to environmental changes. For example, if there's a recession, people will buy less expensive cars, so you will struggle. Porsche is going to struggle to make money during the recession times. Okay. Toyota, on the other hand, they combat this because they have different products for different segments. They have a high class segment, a product for the high income segment, Lexus, but they also have cars for the middle income ranges like the Corolla. So if there is an economic recession and people can't buy the Lexus, maybe they still are selling cars like the Corolla, which people can still buy during those times. It's important that you don't put all your eggs in one basket, say some marketers. Okay, so the key to a concentrated targeting strategy is specialization. You need to be very special. And some of the specializations can include being an end-use specialist, being a vertical level specialist, being a customer size specialist, being a special customer specialist, a geographic specialist, a product or feature specialist, a quality price specialist, a service specialist. and you can read more about what those are in your textbook for more detailed definitions of each of them. Then we have multi-segment targeting. This is where the firm chooses to serve two or more market segments and develops a different marketing mix for each of those segments, like I showed you with the Mr. Price example, and the different segments and the different marketing mixes for the different girl age groups. Toyota has a marketing mix for almost every type of segment in the car market. They have the bottom level, like the Yaris, the entry-level cars, more affordable. Then they have your Corollas, which is more the middle income range, and then they have the Lexus, which is your premium range. But they also have Buckies and trucks and taxis and SUVs and all kinds of interesting vehicles. Some firms use different promotional appeals rather than completely different marketing mixes. For example, Palmolive shampoos all share the same bottle, shape, price, and range. Right? So they are making different products for different markets, but it's all they use similar. Yeah, they use similar bottles. They use similar shapes. It's just the color that changes, and obviously the shampoo that's inside the bottle is bought by different groups. So you'll see the one on the left is long and shine, so people who want nice long and shiny hair buy that one. Then you have the beauty gloss, people who want glossy hair will buy that one. Then you'll have the silky shine effect, then you have the 2-in-1, then you have the brilliant color, and so forth. So different people buy them, but you can see the price might change, but the place is the same. They're all next to each other in the same shops, and the promotion is probably the same as well, or maybe they'll use different types of ads to promote the different types of shampoos they have, but product is very similar. They've got similar branding, they've got similar bottling, and so forth. Right, they only differ in the benefit that they are purchased. This makes it cheaper for them if they have some things that are similar, like the type of bottles and so forth. Okay, so this offers the firm many benefits. Greater sales volume because you've got different products being sold to different target markets, so you can make more money. You have higher profits. You have a much larger market share of the market because you've got so many pieces of the pie, and you can create economies of scale in manufacturing and marketing, which makes it cheaper for you to compete. Okay, marketing, multi-segment marketing also involves higher costs, sadly. Product design costs, you have to design a new product for each segment. So you've got to pay money to design. You've got to produce different products, so it's higher production costs. You've got to communicate different. You've got to make different adverts for each group, so higher advertising costs. Inventory costs, you've got to keep more stock in different places because you've got so many different products. You've got to pay more for research as well. And you've got to have different managers for each of the product ranges for each of the different segments. So you've got more people, which is going to cost you more as well. And lastly, you get something called cannibalization, where the profits from the one can maybe eat into the other. So instead of buying a Corolla, I buy a Yaris, but I was thinking of a Corolla. So now the Yaris, I'm buying the Yaris, but it's eating into the profits of Corolla. See what I mean? So, yeah. Even though it's the same company, but they do eat into one another's profits. Okay, so if we contrast the different target market approaches, and we look at the strategic factors, and we look at undifferentiated, multi-segment, and concentrated, what does it look like? Well, from an undifferentiated perspective on a target market, it's a broad range of consumers. It's everyone. Multi-segment is two or more, and concentrated is one consumer group. From a distribution perspective, when you use undifferentiated targeting, you will try and put your product in all outlets. You use intensive distribution. When you do multi-segment targeting, you'll only put your product in certain centers. you will use what's called as selective distribution. And then with concentrated, you're only going to choose one or two, maybe only one place to put your product. Like Porsche only has one shop in the whole of probably the Western Cape, where, or maybe in Cape Town, where they sell their products. They don't put their cars everywhere, but Toyota has cars all over the place, don't they? Then we have marketing communication. With an undifferentiated strategy, you'll use mass media like TV and radio, and you'll just have one ad all the time. In multi-segment marketing, you will use all suitable types of media depending on the segment. So if it's a segment that likes to be online, you'll use Facebook advertising. If it's a segment that sits at home and watches TV, you'll use TV advertising. If it's a segment that reads the newspaper, you'll do newspaper advertising. So you'll define what that segment, what kind of communication that segment likes and uses, and then you will communicate with them that way. And with concentrated, you use specialized media like special mags that are specifically designed for high-end customers that like high-end cars, for Porsche, for example. Price. With undifferentiated strategy, you'll have one popular price. With multi-segment, you'll have different price ranges for each product. And for concentrated, you'll have also one price, but it's a very tailored price, and it's very expensive. And then the strategy emphasis for undifferentiated is one program that appeals to many consumers. Multi-segment is different programs that appeal to different consumers, and again, concentrated is one program, but it appeals to only a special segment. Then we just have a quick view at positioning. Positioning is the third and last part of the marketing strategy. The first part is segmenting, then targeting, and then positioning. It follows directly after selecting which segments to target. So what is positioning? It is developing a specific marketing mix to influence potential customers' overall perception of a brand, product line, or the firm in general. So it's developing your marketing mix in such a way that it really influences people's perceptions, what they believe. A simpler definition is that it's the place that the product, brand, or group of products occupies in the consumer's mind in relation to competing offers. It's basically how customers think about the product in their minds, and how they compare the product in their minds to other competing products. It entails assessing the position held by other competitors, and includes determining the important dimensions underlying those positions. Why do people believe the way they believe? What is it that they believe about competitors' products? And then what you do is you choose a position in which your firm's marketing efforts will have the greatest impact to you. In other words, you almost choose where in the people's mind you want your product to sit. But we will cover this in great detail in Chapter 7.